My sister mocked me at a christening. Mom said wrong choices while using my name for secret debt. Then I filed identity theft and locked everything down. My name is Lena. I am 34. I am a scheduler at a pediatric clinic, which means I live in spreadsheets. I know which doctors are always running 5 minutes behind 20. I am a single mom to Noah, who is 12 and collects tiny screwdrivers and facts about trains. In my family, I am the reliable one, which slowly turned into the backup plan, which quietly became the person you blame when you are told no. My sister is Maya. She is 31 and the favorite. She is the kind of person who can step into a room and somehow the lighting helps her. She does social media consulting, which in our house translates to Maya is busy even when she is on the couch. Mom calls her Miracle. Dad is not in the picture and has not been since I was in high school. We call him Complicated to save time. Maya's baby was christened on a Sunday in May. There were white lace satin shoes, a rented hall with gold chairs, and a backdrop of fake flowers for photos. I brought a diaper cake that looked like it had a college minor in engineering. Noah wore the shirt he hates because it has buttons. He kept them buttoned. We sat at a long table next to the dessert display that said, "Blessed" in script. Speeches started. The godfather went first and did a joke about sleep. The godmother cried. Maya stood up, clinked her glass with a fork, and raised her voice so the room could hear. "At least my baby will grow up with a father," she said, smiling at the crowd, hand on the baby's head. "Some of us make better choices." People chuckled. It slid over the room like a thin sheet of oil. I kept my face calm because I have had practice. Noah's shoulders went tight. Mom leaned toward me, low and soft. "Some people just make the wrong choices," she added, as if we were swapping recipes. I took a slow breath. I looked at Noah. He stared at his napkin like he was trying to fold himself into it. I put my hand on his back and rubbed once. I said, "Nothing." That has been my role for years. The person who keeps the temperature from boiling. There was a light scrape of a chair. Noah stood up. He did not raise his voice. He did not look at Maya like he wanted to fight. He looked confused, the way kids look when adults tell a joke they do not understand. "Aunt Maya," he asked, "is the Ohio thing still a secret?" The room went quiet in a way that had nothing to do with respect. A fork clinked on a plate. The disc jockey bent down like he had dropped something because silence makes people do busy work. Maya's smile froze. "What Ohio thing?" she said, too bright. Noah looked at me like I could translate. He had heard words that were not for him on a speakerphone months ago. He did not know what they meant. He just knew it sounded like a secret with my name attached. "Sit down, baby," I said quietly. "Is it the one about the card with your name?" he asked, as if he was trying to help us put the story back together. "Noah." My voice came out even. "Sit." He sat. He looked small and brave and 12 all at once. The baby fussed. Someone coughed. The disc jockey turned the music up 2 notches too loud, as if volume could mop feelings. Maya laughed a laugh that sounded like a door lock clicking. "Kids say the funniest things," she said to the room. "Anyway, cake soon." People unclenched their shoulders. Mom pinched my arm under the table hard enough to leave a memory. "What did you tell him?" she hissed. "I told him nothing," I said. I did not look at Maya. I did not look at Mom. I looked at Noah and nodded like we were still in a world that made sense. I sliced a piece of cake I did not taste. I passed plates. I adjusted a bow. I played normal. Inside, a line I had been drawing in pencil for years got traced over in ink. People think a blow-up is a volcano. Sudden, dramatic, one day out of a calm sky. It is not. It is a sink slowly filling because the drain was clogged for years. I was 19 when Maya first said, "Just use your name for now." She was moving out with a boyfriend who had big plans and no pay stubs. The electric company would not start service without a deposit. "It is just utilities," she said. "We will switch it in a month." Mom nodded like it was thoughtful. I put it under my name because I had a paycheck and a need to be needed. 2 months later, a bill came with a late fee and a pink stripe on top. "I swear I mailed it," Maya said, breezy. "I paid it because my credit score was a number that felt like a grade, and I like good grades. The switch never happened." At 22, I co-signed a used car just for a year because Maya had a job that would turn permanent any day. The car made it 2 years. The job did not. I paid the last 3 payments because it was easier than getting 30 calls and a mark on my report. "You are such a good sister," Mom said. "Such bad luck." When I got pregnant with Noah at 21, his father came to the first ultrasound and to 2 birthing classes and then to a bus station. He left a note with a weak apology and 3 lines about not being ready to be 2 people. I did what women do when a plan falls apart. I made a new plan. I worked a morning shift at the clinic and a night shift at a call center for 1 year. I bought diapers with coupons and sleep with caffeine. Mom held Noah when he was new and said, "This is why girls should wait." She did not say it about Maya. Maya moved to Ohio for love or work or fresh air, depending on which story you heard. She had a different number and a different laugh. She called me when she needed a ride on my Amazon Prime, or a small float, or a tiny, tiny favor. One Tuesday, Mom's phone was on speaker while she chopped onions, and Maya talked fast just for a month. Maya said, "I put Lena's name because she gets better offers. It is not like a thing." "What did you put my name on?" I asked, picking up a toy train with my foot, because this is what motherhood teaches you, how to bend without falling. "A store card for like groceries," she said, "and a doctor bill. Collections people are dramatic. Do not worry, I will handle it." "Take my name off," I said. She clicked her tongue. "Relax. You were always so alarmist." 2 weeks later, my phone started doing a new trick, calls from numbers that looked like relatives. Ohio area codes. Michelle from Recovery, Greg from Billing Solutions. "We are just trying to help you resolve a balance, Miss Harris." My last name in someone else's mouth. I pulled my credit report for the first time in a long time. There it was. Ohio Department of some utility, $418. Midwest Retail Card, $1,120. Regional Clinic Group, $1,980. Opened in my name. Address in a city I had never spelled correctly. The birth date was mine. The social was mine. The email was her old cute one from high school. I sat on my couch with a stack of printouts and a pen and felt my chest do that tight, hollow thing you get when you almost drop a baby and catch them at the last second. I called Maya. "Take my name off," I said again, slow. "I will," she said. "It is just until my new job clears. Do not be cruel. Do not be cruel." In my family, that line is a lockpick. I could have reported it then. I did not. Noah was 4. I had a full-time job, a part-time job, and a daycare bill that made me check my account like I was trying to read my own pulse. I paid 2 balances because the collectors were efficient, and my landlord was not patient with, "It is complicated." I told myself I was choosing peace. I told myself I was protecting my credit. I told myself Maya would pay me back when she got on her feet. She sent me $25 one time with a heart emoji. The memo said, "Love you." Years stacked. The Ohio thing went quiet, then loud, then quiet again, the way weeds pop up after rain. I learned the scripts. I did not open that account. Send me validation. Do not call my workplace. I learned to freeze my credit when I felt a weird breeze. I learned to leave my debit card at home when I went to Mom's because she had a way of saying, "Oh, while you're here, Lena, can you just put the water bill on autopay? It is the same as covering it, right?" Maya's check got held. "Can you spot her rent, just this once? It is silly for you to wait on buying a house when you could be helping your sister build stability too." And my son grew. He learned that some dinners were loud and some were quiet. He learned to bring his book to family events. He learned to watch my face for clues. When Maya got pregnant, the family went into full production mode. Showers, registry, vendor quotes, sponsorships, a group chat named Miracle Baby that pinged my phone like a fire alarm. I bought the car seat because safety is not a hill I let anyone die on. I bought a month of diapers because that is easy math. I sent a message. That is what I can do. 2 hours later, Mom texted, "Maya found the perfect haul. It is a little over budget, but we can make it work if we all pull together. Maya, you are the best with money. Can you handle the deposit? I will reimburse Friday." Me, no. "Mom, Lena, do not be small. Maya, it is $600. You make that in what, a day?" I stared at Miracle Baby until the letters blurred. Then I put my phone face down and made Noah a grilled cheese and laughed at a crumb on his nose because this is the stupid glowing good part. My kid is funny and does math in his head and calls me Captain Budget like it is a superhero. I did not pay the deposit. Maya went around me to Mom, who paid with a card just to hold the date, which was my card because I had once, 3 years ago, added my name to her Amazon for free shipping only. And the internet never forgets. I found the charge the next morning. I took 3 deep breaths, walked into Mom's house, opened her laptop, removed my information from everything that had a blue button, and said, "No more." She said, "Do not be dramatic." I said, "No more again." She said, "You are so cold sometimes." I switched the thermostat off on my way out because I am petty, and also because it was on 69 in May. The christening was the same shape as every event we do, pretty, expensive, and calculated to make me feel like a vending machine with arms. Maya raised a glass. Mom sharpened a sentence. I swallowed. The only thing different was that my kid was there and he did not like the taste. He had heard me on the phone 2 months back using my careful voice with a collector named Brenda from Ohio. "This is identity theft," I said. "No, it is my sister. Yes, I have documentation. No, I am not paying. No, I am not being hostile. Yes, I am firm." He had heard Mom ask Maya later on speaker, "Did you fix the Ohio thing?" He had heard Maya respond, "It is handled," which in our house means I will think about it again when it screams. So when Noah asked, "Is the Ohio thing still a secret?" he was not being cruel. He was being 12 and honest. He said, "The quiet part in a room that loves quiet parts." We left early. I texted the coordinator, "Thank you, because I will die on the hill of not making a stranger's job harder." I put Noah in the car with his too-tight collar and his green tie and asked if he wanted fries. He said yes, even though he did not. We ate in the parking lot of a fast food place that smelled like salt and sugar and guilt. "Did I mess it up?" he asked. "No," I said. "You asked a question. Are you mad?" "Not at you. At them." I looked at the steering wheel like it could help me word it. "I am done," I said. "That is what I am." "Done with what?" "Being the person they take from and then laugh at." I said, "Being the person who pays and then gets told she made the wrong choices." He nodded like he was memorizing a new rule of a game we had not named. "Okay," he said. When we got home, I put him in front of a movie we have both seen 10 times because safe stories matter. I pulled a folder from the cabinet labeled Ohio. Inside were credit reports, letters, envelopes with windows. I added a new page, a timeline. I wrote dates and amounts. I wrote, "May christening bannerless but still a billboard because humor keeps my hands from shaking." I called legal aid and left a message. I emailed a consumer attorney a nurse friend had recommended. I pulled the identity theft affidavit I had half filled out months ago and finished it. I froze my credit with all 3 bureaus again. I filed a police report online because the bank said they would want a number. I opened a new checking account at a different bank because just in case is not paranoia, it is experience. Then I texted Mom and Maya a screenshot of the affidavit. "We are done doing this your way," I wrote. "Here is mine. 1. Remove my name from any utility, lease, subscription, or card within 72 hours. 2. Repay the Ohio balances you opened in my name, $418 plus $1,120 plus $980, equals $2,518. Wire only, no envelopes. 3. Do not use my name, information, or child in your jokes again. Going forward, no loans, no hold this, no you make more. If you need help, ask. I may say yes or no. That is adulthood." Mom replied 5 minutes later. "You are making a scene. We do not take family to court." "Maya, are you serious right now?" "Over old stuff. It is paid." "Me, it is not. I have the letters." "Maya, you are evil." "Mom, you always were rigid." "Me, this is not about revenge. This is about closure." And I meant every word. 30 minutes later, my phone lit up with calls. I let them go. I put the folder in a tote bag. I wrote a note for Noah's sitter and asked our neighbor to sit with him for an hour. I drove to Mom's house because if I did not say it in a room, they would pretend texts are not real. They were in the kitchen, both of them like a stage play. Maya had the baby on her hip. Mom had that look she gets when she is about to serve a monologue. I put the folder on the table and pulled out a chair and sat calm, not low, not high, center. Maya started. "You embarrassed me today. You embarrassed yourself," I said. "And me and my son." Mom stepped in. "It was a joke." "No," I said. "It was a message. You wanted it on the record that I made the wrong choices. Here is a record." I slid the Ohio printouts across the table. "You used my name. You lied. You let me carry it." Maya looked at the baby like the baby was going to testify. "I was broke. I was a single mom," I said, "with a daycare bill and a job. I did not open accounts in your name to fix it." Mom's voice got that whisper scream it gets. "We are family." "Yes," I said. "That is why I am telling you the rules. Because I want to still be family next year." Silence. It expanded and then settled. "Here is what happens," I said. "You remove my name from anything that is not mine by Friday. You wire $2,518 by Monday. You stop. If you do not, I file the affidavit, the report, and I let the state of Ohio be the adult in this situation." Maya scoffed. "Wow, over $2,000. You act like you are poor." "I act like I am done," I said. Mom wagged a finger, more sad than sharp. "You are cruel." "No," I said, steady as a level. "I am clear." I left the folder on the table because copies exist. I kissed the baby's head because she did not do this. I left without hugging either of them because consequences are not hugs. In the car, I shook. Not because I doubted, because not doubting is new. The next morning, my phone had 47 missed calls. I did not answer any. I made Noah pancakes and overcooked one, and we called it practice. I dropped him at school. I drove to work. I moved appointments around for a provider who had a dentist appointment he forgot to tell me about. I answered a mother who thought yelling would make a slot appear. I ordered printer ink. Life did not pause for my boundary. It never does. At lunch, the consumer attorney called back. Her name was Daria. Her voice was the kind that sounds like a handrail. I told her the short version. She asked for the long one. I gave her the folder. She said 4 sentences that changed my posture. Identity theft does not stop being theft because it is family. She said, "You do not owe people silence about their behavior." She said, "Documentation beats drama." She said, "I can send a demand letter that is both kind and sharp." She said, I said yes so fast it sounded like I was tripping. She sent me a list of things to do: pull all reports, file the affidavit, place extended fraud alerts, freeze Noah's credit too because kids get dragged into adult fires. I did them all that afternoon, clicking boxes like I was building a fence. At 3:12 post-meridium, Maya texted, "You are sick. I will not forget this." At 3:13 post-meridium, "Mom, we raised you." At 3:14 post-meridium, an unknown Ohio number left a voicemail about verifying identity before discussing your file. I smiled for the first time in 2 days because verification is a door I can close now. That night, the family group chat, the Harace's heart emoji lit up like a kitchen fire. "Aunt Joe, what happened at the christening?" Cousin Ty heard Noah said something. "Mom, this is not for group chat." Maya, "Lena is in a phase." Me, "This is not for group chat either. We will talk when the wire arrives." Quiet. Bless heavy quiet. Daria's letter went out the next morning. Subject line, notice of identity theft, and demand for cease and repayment. Words like misuse, unauthorized, harm, remedy requested, $2,518 by 5 post-meridium Monday. It was not a threat. It was a map. Mom drove to my apartment without warning. She brought a Tupperware of something beige. She set it on my counter like an apology and then said, "You are destroying this family over pennies." "Pennies are how we got here," I said. "Pennies and just this once, and you make more." "Your sister was scared. She said she needed help." "So did I said. "I was 21 with a baby and a job and a bill named rent. I did not steal from her to fix it." She softened for 1 second. "We should not have said what we said," she whispered at the table. "No," I said. "You should not have." Tears gathered. They did not fall. "You used to be so kind," she said. "I am still kind," I said. "I am just not accessible." She did not like the word. She left the Tupperware. I threw it out later because I did not know what was in it, and I am done putting mystery into my body. Saturday, Noah asked if he was in trouble for saying the thing. We were walking to the library, him with his hoodie half up, me with a tote for returns. "No," I said. "You did not do anything wrong." "Then why is everyone mad?" "Because telling the truth in a room that survives on secrets is like opening a window in winter," I said. "It makes people cold." He thought about that. "Can we have the window open at our house?" he asked. "Yes," I said. We made a list on the fridge with a dry erase marker. No secrets that belong to someone else. No money without receipts. No jokes that stab. No yelling. No using the word cruel when you mean I do not like your boundary. We added stickers because he is 12, and I am apparently also 12 in my heart. Sunday night, Aunt Joe called. She whispered like she was hiding in a pantry. "I just wanted to say I heard what happened," she said. "I am sorry. Your mother has been like this since we were kids. I should have said something sooner." That is the thing about families. The silence is generational. The noise when it starts is a miracle. Monday at 4:51 post-meridium, I got a notification. Incoming wire, $1,000. Memo, for love. At 4:59 post-meridium, another $1,518. No memo. I stared at the screen until the numbers stopped looking like numbers and started looking like air. Daria emailed, "Received." I wrote, "Received." She wrote, "Good." Now the other part, removal from accounts. We scheduled a 30-minute call with Maya and the utility companies. It was tedious and petty and glorious. Please remove Lena Harris. Please confirm. Please send written confirmation. No, do not put me on hold to ask my sister if she is sure. I am sure. By Wednesday, my name was off 3 things. My card was out of Mom's apps, and the Ohio balances showed 0 with a small ugly note, paid by third party. I printed the receipts and put them in the folder with a sticky note that said, "Do not open in a weak moment." The backlash did not stop. It changed shape. Maya posted a black square with white text, "Beware of people who weaponize boundaries." Her friends commented hearts. I did not respond because I do not fight in places with like buttons. Mom sent me links to articles about forgiveness with stock photos of sunsets. I hearted them because they were not invoices. The good stuff was small and sturdy. Noah sleeping hard because his brain was not listening for late night, calls me making soup without calculating 10 other budgets in my head. A Saturday with no errands that belonged to anyone else. A neighbor leaving a note that said he asked to borrow the screwdriver. He said, "Please and thank you, good kid." I put that note on the fridge under a magnet shaped like a lemon. At the end of the month, I moved the family tab in my spreadsheet to a folder named Archive. I did not delete it. I am not ready for that. But I put it behind 2 clicks. That felt like exhaling. It has been 7 weeks. The christening photos went up on Maya's page. There is no sound in photos. Everyone looks beautiful. The baby looks like a small loaf of bread that learned to smile. There is no speech in the album. That is how stories work here. We edit until the edges are soft. I do not need to edit mine. I wrote 5 lines on an index card and taped it to the inside of my kitchen cabinet where the mugs are. I do not send money I cannot afford to see again. I do not put my name where I do not live. I do not explain math to people who prefer magic. I do not accept cruel when I said no. I do not argue by phone, email, or nothing. Underneath, I wrote the sentence Daria liked, and I like more each day. This is not about revenge. This is about closure. Closure is not a slam. It is a click. It is the sound a lock makes when it finally fits. It is a 12-year-old boy asking a clear question and a mother deciding the window stays open. It is me paying my rent and buying Noah the good mechanical pencils because he loves the click and the tiny shavings that look like confetti. It is a quiet phone at 11 post-meridium. Mom and I talk about neutral things now, whether sales on dish soap or the neighbor's new dog. When she starts walking toward, "You know your sister," I say, "I'm going to hang up now," and I do not die. Maya and I exchange photos of the kids. She wrote, "I should not have said that at the table." I wrote back, "I should not have let it go this long." We left it there. No heart emoji, no hate, just a place without fire. Noah asked me last night if our rules on the fridge are forever. I said yes, and also that rules can change if they make sense, but not because someone pouts. He nodded like I had told him how the brakes in a car work. He went back to building a tiny crane out of leftover screws and patience. He calls it closure because he thinks he is funny. He is. If you want a moral, it is boring and it works. Love is not access. Help is a gift, not an invoice. You cannot build a family on jokes that stab and bills that do not belong to you. You can build one on 5 lines inside a cabinet, and a boy who thinks asking the right question is better than being liked. The Ohio folder is on a shelf. I labeled it and I do not touch it. I hope it grows dust. I hope the only call I get from that area code is a survey, and I hope I hang up. I hope the baby grows up and thinks lace is itchy and family is warm. I cannot control that. I can control my door. This is not revenge. This is closure. And we are good. Sometimes, late at night, when the apartment is finally quiet and Noah's door is cracked just enough for the hallway light to reach his train posters, I let myself feel it all at once. Not the anger, that burned hot and fast and is mostly ash now, but the grief. Grief for the sister I thought I had. The one who would have borrowed my sweater and returned it washed, not my identity and returned it damaged. Grief for the mother I wanted. The one who would have pulled me aside at that christening and whispered, "I'm proud of how strong you've become," instead of sharpening Maya's knife with her own quiet agreement. I cry sometimes. Not the loud kind, just a slow leak that fogs my glasses while I'm washing the same mug twice. It feels like mourning people who are still alive, still texting, still breathing the same air a few miles away. That's the strangest part, how you can lose someone without a funeral. I mourn the years I spent believing that being needed was the same as being loved, that swallowing hurt was the price of keeping the peace. I mourned the version of Lena who thought saying yes often enough would finally make them see her. But then the tears dry, and something quieter rises underneath. Relief, wide and clean, like opening every window after a long winter. Pride, too, not loud, just a steady warmth in my chest when I look at Noah asleep with one sock half off and know I built this small, safe world for us without borrowing from anyone else's future. And gratitude, sharp and surprising, for the 12-year-old boy who accidentally handed me the match that finally lit the boundary I'd been tracing in the dark for years. I'm still sad sometimes. I probably always will be. But the sadness no longer owns the room. It sits in a corner, acknowledged, while the rest of the space belongs to us. To grilled cheese crumbs on the counter, to mechanical pencils that click like tiny celebrations, to a phone that stays silent at 11 p.m. because no one is allowed to reach into my pocket and take what isn't theirs anymore. Closure isn't the absence of pain. It's the moment you realize the pain no longer decides where you sit, what you pay for, or who you let inside. And in that moment, you breathe deeper than you have in years.